Welcome to Connecting You, the podcast where we explore the journey of connecting to God, yourself, and others. I'm your host, Mayra Richards, founder of Remain Connected Counseling. And joining me is our marketing director, Emily Robinson. At Connecting You, we believe that each one of us is in a unique journey, seeking connection and belonging in a world that often feels disconnected. So, wherever you are in your journey, we invite you to join us as we explore what it means to remain connected to God, to yourself, and to others. Welcome to Connecting You, where you belong.
Hi friends, Emily here, just with a quick disclaimer that this first couple that we start talking about is Chelsea and Jimmy. We want you guys to know that these are just our opinions, but that these dynamics that we analyze can actually be very applicable to your real life, so watch out for that. All right, enjoy.
Yeah, I think that she creates this environment where she makes other people feel not good enough because she doesn't feel good enough. And then she drives them away.
Yes. She has this desperate desire to bring people to the level of sadness that she is at.
And she wants that. If she's happy, she wants somebody to be happy. If she's sad, she wants someone to be sad.
She never feels understood.
Yeah.
She's like, I want you to understand my sadness. And you can tell that she doesn't think he is getting it because she keeps repeating it. She keeps saying, but I need you to understand. I need you to love me. I need you to do this. And he's sitting there saying, I do understand. I deeply understand that you are upset.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry and he apologizes for things that he shouldn't have apologized for. So, to a certain extent, Jimmy enables and feeds into it.
It's like she tries so hard to push people away to see if she will be chosen again, right? She was chosen once. And then it's like, I'm going to push your buttons. I'm going to tell secrets that you didn't want me to tell on camera. I'm going to nag you. She was nagging. I want you to say everything. And then if you can choose me after that, then that must mean that you really love me.
Yeah.
And that is sad.
It's like, if I can drive you into this anger and frustration, but at the end of the day, I'm still the one for you. It's like she has to constantly be chosen every day, every second. Yeah. I need you to choose me, and I need your world to revolve around me and what I'm doing. It is very sad. And I don't know we don't know enough about her background to know where that comes from.
Yeah. I don't know. But I do think that there's just a lot of healing that needs to be done for her, and knowing that you can't do that to people.
Yeah.
It's kind of...
She is hurtful to others.
Unintentionally bullies them.
Mm-hmm. She gets really mad when he calls her clingy, like, once. After weeks of her pushing and poking and prodding and being very, very clingy, he says, like, once, like, I feel that you are being overly clingy in this moment. And it's like that. It's like she is angry. She is cursing. She cannot believe that he would say that to her and that he hates her. And I think that's where you see it's like her emotions are just driven by every little thing. And she can really go whichever way the wind goes.
Yeah. And I think it's okay in relationships if your partner tells you, hey, you're clingy, especially the way he said it. I don't think that he said it out of, with malintent or with ill intent. I think he just said it like we're talking right now. He was like, I think you're a little clingy. He even said a little, I think.
Yeah.
Which I was like, a little clingy. And she's not able to, like, I get you being mad, but you can't react like that and be so hurtful towards someone else. You have to be able to take that in and be more introspective and say, like, am I? Like, this person has been with me for the last weeks. Am I clingy? Or what is he seeing as clingy? Because I don't see it. There has to be a certain level of trust in relationships where you're able to take not the criticism,
the mirror that they're holding up.
Yeah.
Perspective.
Yeah.
And that is something that she does not have any trust in him. She does not trust when he says he loves her. She does not trust when he says that he didn't sleep with the other girl or do this or that, which, I don't know what he did or didn't do, but their conversations to me were frustrating to watch because I was like, this is pointless. She's never going to trust that what you're saying is true. You're never going to be able to repeat to her the things that she needs to hear in order for her to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've had conversations like that. I think I'm a less patient person. So whenever I'm arguing with somebody who I know that we're not going to be constructive, we're not going to be open to the other person's perspective, or I know that they're not hearing what I'm saying in the way that I mean it, like I will just shut it down because I'm not patient. I won't have the conversation. I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you because we're not going to get to a point of understanding. And maybe in passing relationships with friends or with other people, like it's not as important because at the end of the day, I move away, I'm no longer friends with that person. It didn't matter that I didn't talk it out with them. But with your husband, with your partner in a relationship where you're going to be talking for the next 50 years.
Yeah.
If you're not getting anywhere, if your conversation is not going from point A to point B, or from maybe we don't agree, but I understand what you mean, what is the point?
What is the point?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there's this, I'm glad that he was like, hey, I cannot marry you, because it was honest. It was like, I said I would try, and he did try longer. And I had a friend say, like, well, I do think that Jimmy was not attracted to her.
Yeah.
I do think that. And I do think that he wasn't honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the friend that I'm talking about, she was like, well, he would have been eaten alive by the media, by the internet, by people. And that is what we have to question, right? Like,
it's also a show.
This is a show. This is an experiment. People have to be allowed to say, no, for me, love is not blind.
Yeah.
Like there's...
Well, for none of them was love blind. Like, I think all of them were either satisfied or dissatisfied, and they either kept going or they didn't.
And I think she could sense that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's give her some credit and be like, okay, she could sense that, and that's why she kept poking and kept nagging or whatever. It is her responsibility to end the relationship.
Yeah.
She wanted him to do it, and it was her responsibility to do it. Because if you feel like somebody doesn't love you, it is your responsibility to say, like, hey, I'm not going to be in it anymore.
Yeah. Like, this is not the standard that I have set for love in my life.
Right.
I deserve a true love, a pure love that is actually in love with me, and not somebody who is going along with emotions, or you're just going to constantly fight, I think.
Yeah. She always wanted to be the victim. Victim, victim, victim. And the moment that he stepped up to him, was like, you're not a victim. You are clingy. You are, she freaked out.
She was actually I guess I could have expected it, but she was much meaner in that moment and going forward than I expected, because as she portrays herself so small and vulnerable and sad, that switch up was like, oh, okay.
Like a puppy, like a chihuahua.
Just a chihuahua.
They're like so cute and so small, and then they're yappy. They're like, and constantly when they see a car or something, they're barking. And that was her. She just picked fights after fights after. They had a great day, and she would find it. There was a fight for them to have.
She was like, theoretically, if this had happened, would you have been mad at me then?
Right.
It's just like, why are you asking that?
And he even said, like, we just enjoy meeting my family, and it's a disaster. If you see yourself in any way be like Chelsea, there are deep wounds that woman needs to heal.
Yeah.
Deep, deep wounds. that I hope that she gets to heal, because no one will ever be enough for her. Or she needs to just flat out marry someone who's completely avoidant, which is why I think that Trevor would have worked for her,
Trevor
because
didn't take anything personally either.
he doesn't. He's just kind of like, I avoid all things and I have fun. Like, he is here to have fun, and
You're not going to take fun from Trevor.
you're not,
You being upset does not matter to Trevor's day.
I think that they would have actually worked better.
Yeah, I think they were compatible, much more compatible. He said, I need somebody a little goofy, a little weird, like that's me. And the way that she presented herself in the pods was that easygoing person. But I think Trevor is so strong in himself, like whoever that is, we don't really know Trevor, but he was very unshakable. Like, I think if he had seen her, I think it was different from Jimmy. If he had seen her and he had been unattracted to her, I think he would have been like, you know what, I'm me, this isn't it for me. He just seemed strong. Like, regardless of whether he was good, whether he was bad, he was himself.
Yeah.
I liked him a lot. He was fairly funny.
Well, he's just a person you look at and you're like, I'm not attracted to Trevor, but he is a person that you look at and you're like, oh my gosh, you're just so nice.
Yeah.
Did you feel that? I thought he
Yeah.
was nice. I was like, you just seem funny, and if you're willing to have a mullet, you have to have some sense of, I don't care what people think.
Yeah.
There was just like a presence of him, more
He's
comforting.
like sure in himself. And that is something that I think a lot of the other guys lacked. I think even Clay, who presented himself as like this suave, like flirty person,
Yeah.
he was not sure in himself.
Yeah.
He was not sure in his path and what he should do and how he should live his life. And it goes a really long way to just be sure in yourself, especially with women. I think guys, I've heard them say like, well, a woman wants her man to be handsome and wealthy, and he needs to be suave, and he needs to be this, and he needs to have all these expectations. Women are very easily convinced.
As we've seen on this show. You don't have to do
very
much.
easily convinced. Like, if you present yourself, and I'm capable of this, like if you present yourself as like a kind, caring, like nurturing, good man, regardless of whether I thought to begin with, like, oh, he's very not my type. He's pretty short. He's kind of skinny or like whatever. I'll get over it because I'm like, look at what he's doing and how he's like consistent and nice to me.
Yeah, there's nothing more attractive than a confident guy.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And I think that confidence comes from knowing that you don't have ill intent. Like, I think that they're able to be confident in themselves because at the end of the day, like, they weren't trying to hustle or deceive any of the women. Whereas Matthew, I thought he was very insecure, and it was because he knew that he was trying to pull the wool over people's eyes and have this facade that I'm this really cool person.
Yeah.
That he wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't like him.
You do not like Matthew. I said the word Matthew, and
Fills me with rage.
Emily was like, I knew it from the moment I saw him. And he did give you a presence of like, you're kind of scary.
No, I knew. I don't know what it was. I had a visceral reaction to how Matthew looks. Before a word came out of his mouth, before he lied to the women, before he left the show, before he had all these red flags that we were talking about before, I hated him. I just saw him and I was like, bad person.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
Yeah.
But you just feel it sometimes.
Yeah, I do believe that. In your gut, there's just something that says no.
And I think even AD knew that. But again, women are easily convinced. If you put in a little bit of effort to show her that you might want to marry her, I guess, in this scenario, they'll kind of disregard the gut feeling.
Yeah.
And just go along with it. Like, I think AD knew with Matthew that he was, lying. I think she knew with Clay that he wasn't mature enough, but
Yeah.
they push aside that sense and that intuition.
I think we have to get this thought in our brains that the wedding is the goal, because that's just a day. That's just maybe a few hours. That's not the goal. The goal is the marriage. And if you don't pick someone who's your best fit, someone who's kind, who's nice and funny, you are going to be with this person for the rest of your life, hopefully. You have to pick someone who is just really kind.
Yeah. And
It
I don't
doesn't
think
have to be
that's
perfect.
glamorized. I think because
Yeah.
that's not in the movies, because kindness it's not sellable. It's not Hollywood. It's not flashy to others around you.
Yeah.
Other people don't see when he refills your water bottle without you asking.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, because we don't value ourselves as much, or because we don't think about ourselves, we just want other people to see him being kind to us. But that's not how it's going to shake out at the end of the day.
Yeah. So final thoughts for Love is Blind. Is love blind? I think they should.
I think delusion is blind.
Somebody told me that they say Delulu now.
Yeah, Delulu is the Salulu.
No.
Like delusion
No,
is the
just
solution.
no.
Have you not heard that?
No.
Well, yeah, to bring it back to what we initially said, and what Gavin brought up, is that I have seen women, middle-aged women, 45-year-old women. I have one in particular in mind. She's not going to listen to this because we're not famous, but she would go into relationship after relationship with these men who were overseas, who she had not FaceTimed ever, just like calling on the phone. So we have no idea whether they truly looked like the photos, whether they were catfishing. She would send them money. They would convince her that they were in love and that they were a couple and whatnot. And I think that, in that sense, sure, love is blind. She's never seen them. She's never met them. So theoretically, this experiment could work. But I refuse to believe that that is love. Like, just me, like, on principle, I refuse to think that that is love. Because to me, where there's deceit, where there's all of these ill intents and this manipulation, people talk about trauma bonds and we did love each other, but we were just really bad for each other. Like, to me, I'm like, no, I don't think that's love. Love is very pure.
Yeah.
What are your final thoughts?
Gosh, final thoughts. Don't try to be like the other person. Don't like the same CDs that the other person likes. You can tell my age by saying CDs. Don't.
What is that? Just kidding.
Be yourself. Be fully yourself, and you will find someone that fits you.
And be strong enough to be vulnerable, to show yourself.
Yeah.
To be seen, and it's scary.
It is scary, but you want someone who knows that, who knows you. This women, they chose this. They're not victims, and they chose not to represent themselves in the best way either.
Yeah.
They chose to hide themselves for fake vulnerability. For the show.
But you can tell, like, people would do that in real life.
Absolutely. And I think that's how a lot of dating relationships start. Like, they just start by lying to themselves and lying to each other.
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah. It's like the courting phase. It's like, oh, we're just flirting, and so I have to pass myself off as super cool and, the right fit for him, and like I'm not weird. I don't have quirks. I don't get upset when he does these things because I don't want to upset him. We try to like tame the waves of the relationship and any turbulence down to like nothing. And then clearly that's not life.
No,
That was never you.
never you. If you're trying to be cool, you're probably not. And that's okay.
Yeah, you're not cool. Just find somebody who's not cool.
That's okay. They don't have to be. If you're trying to be chill, you're probably filled with anxiety. That's okay. Go to counseling. Take that Prozac. I don't know. But owning who you are is huge. It's huge. It's be who you are. Own your mess. And be vulnerable. To show somebody, like, I am messy.
Yeah.
This is who I am. If you want it, great. If you don't, great. I will find someone who does.
Yeah. That reminds me of, you're not going to know, but this huge TikToker, Alex Earl. Yeah. Everyone bashes on her because her room is disgusting. Her room, she has clothes everywhere. She has like trash everywhere. Her house is crazy. Her life is crazy. She parties a lot. And she never sleeps. But she's very vulnerable and transparent in that. Her boyfriend knows that. Her boyfriend walks over the clothes in her room. And, I think we rebel against the idea of like, she needs to start being organized. She needs to start being the perfect good woman for him because, that's how you're supposed to be. But he accepts it.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind. She found a person who's like, whatever. And, in our heads, on her behalf, we want, her to start like hiding that, hiding herself. And it's so ingrained. Like all the comment sections are like trying to get her to change, but like, why?
Why? Obviously she has followers.
Yeah.
Obviously there's someone that loves her.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to change.
No. I'm constantly surprised in our conversations because this is the Healthy Relationship series, and we keep talking about how you have to step out of the relationship and into yourself. So it's like we keep talking about relationships, but then it always circles around to like, well, actually, apart from the relationship, it's just that you need the security of being you.
Yeah. Your foundation of identity needs to be solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And finding that is deceitfully hard, I think. I don't know why everyone has their own reasons for fighting against it, but it's like fighting the tide. Yeah. It's like swimming against the ocean.
Let's do a moment of vulnerability. Ready?
Oh, you're going to ask me a question?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'll ask myself a question. The same question. I want you to share something that no one knows about you.
Do you have one in mind? Can you go first? I have to think about it.
I have to think about it too. All I could think, or something that people would think, oh, she's perfect at this.
And I'm not.
And you're not. Yeah.
I guess because I can be very serious to people. I guess they would expect that I could have a serious conversation, but I am like Chandler Bing. Like you. Like everyone thinks that I'm so funny because I'm like deflect it, throw it away. Like we're laughing, we're having a good time. We're not talking about that. Yeah, so I guess the thing I'm trying to share is like my reason for making jokes. I mean, I love to laugh, but sure. At times it's centered on like, let's not talk about that. We can push that away because people aren't generally very probing. If you make a joke about it, they'll just start talking about something else.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't know. I really don't know what people would think about me. What would you think about me?
That you don't talk much. And that's not true. I think.
Yeah, or that I don't have, not that I don't have preferences or opinions, but that I don't have strong opinions. I think people think because I don't talk much, but I am very opinionated.
Yeah.
I do have really strong opinions.
But you just don't express them in an expected way.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I'll tell you.
Yeah. People think that that the things that you present, I mean, granted, they think that how you present yourself is how you are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not always the expected way. Like, oh, I present myself as funny, but like maybe I'm sad. Or it's like, oh, I present myself as less talkative, or, I'm not going to come here and judge you and tell you all my opinion about the information, but I do have my thoughts about it.
Right. Yeah. All I can think is that, and that I have fake eyelashes on.
What?
The people have commented on my eyelashes, and all I want to be like, they're fake. I get them done every 3 weeks.
Yeah, mine are fake too. It's just nice to have.
See, people, what you see is not
It's
what
not
you
always
will
what
get.
you are.
Yeah, what you see is not always what you are.
Why did you want to have that moment?
I think it's important. I think it's important for people to know, like, at the beginning of one of our episodes, we decided to say, like, hey, we don't know technology. This is really hard. We're actually really nervous.
We are.
We don't know what we're doing. I know what counseling is. You know what marketing and all that stuff is. But what we're doing doesn't come natural. And I think it gives people hope that they can do it too. That they can do something that they think it has to be perfect, and it doesn't.
And especially us, I think, starting a podcast, from the people who are not talkative, expressive, let me tell you my opinion.
Right.
It's like, why did they do that? But it's because we do have those opinions. It's just not natural. It's not natural. I think the format is very funny that we chose. We could have written this down. I would have been fantastic at writing essays about this.
She's fantastic at writing.
Like, you could have, I don't know, what's something that you're already really good at?
Counseling.
Yeah, okay. So you could have stuck to that. You could have never expanded to your broader audience, and you could have been in the comfort zone of, I'm only going to talk about one person at a time, like throughout the day. Podcasting is talking to however many people want to watch it.
Yeah.
And it's like a group setting. And for whatever reason, we were like, we need to grow and learn and get out of the box that we built of, I'm not good at speaking, I'm not good at presenting or showing myself in that way.
Yeah. I think it has shown me that I am capable of challenging myself, which has been amazing.
Capable of change.
Capable of change.
That's it.
And we're out.
That concludes our episode about Love is Blind Season 6. We want to let you know that we did film this prior to the reunion episode, and we did not know what we know about Trevor now. So that definitely changed some of our opinions. Also, stay tuned for Season 2, which was going to be about reparenting, but now we're going to talk about anxiety at different life stages, and I hope that resonates with you. Okay, see you next week.
As we wrap up today's episode, we are grateful you join us to explore what it means to remain connected to God, to yourself, and to others. To stay updated on future episodes, be sure to hit that subscribe button and connect with us on Instagram and Facebook at Remain Connected. Counseling appointments can be made at remainconnectedllc.com. Your support means the world to us. Until next time, may you find peace in your connections and blessings in every step of your journey. Have a blessed